Gave my husband my whole world. But he was secretly seeing my cousin. My mother-in-law told me to keep quiet for family peace. I need to tell someone what I did. Not for forgiveness. I don't deserve that. But because maybe if I write this down, if I admit it out loud to strangers on the internet, I can stop seeing his face every time I close my eyes. My name is Rachel. I'm 31, and 6 months ago, I destroyed the only man who ever truly loved me. It started so small. That's what I keep telling. Like it matters. Like the size of the first lie makes the avalanche any less devastating. His name was Marcus. We'd been together for 8 years. Married for 4. He was the kind of man who still kissed my forehead before work every morning. Who learned to make my grandmother's soup when I got sick. Who cried during our wedding vows because he said he couldn't believe someone like me existed. I cheated on him with his best friend. Not once, not a drunken mistake, 14 times over 3 months. In our bed, in our home. While Marcus worked double shifts to save for the house we were supposed to buy. Everyone asks the same question: why? How could do that to someone who loved like that? The truth is uglier than want it to be. I was bored. That's it. That's the monster living inside my confession. I was bored. Marcus was safe, predictable. He came home at 6:15 every evening, folded his laundry the same way, made the same jokes, had the same hobbies. And somewhere around year 6, I started feeling like I was suffocating in beige. His best friend, Tyler, was different. Dangerous. He had this energy that made rooms feel smaller. He flirted like it was breathing. And when Marcus would invite him over for game nights, I'd catch Tyler looking at me with this half-smile that said he knew exactly what he was doing. The first time it happened, we'd all been drinking. Marcus fell asleep on the couch during a movie. Tyler helped me clean the kitchen. He stood too close while I was rinsing glasses. His hand brushed my lower back. Seemed tense. He whispered, "I should have moved away. Should have woken Marcus. Should have asked Tyler to leave." Instead, I turned around and kissed him. We didn't sleep together that night. Just kissed. Just touched. Just enough that I could lie to it wasn't real cheating. Just enough that I spent the next 3 days replaying it in my mind while Marcus held my hand across the dinner table. The second time, Marcus wasn't home. Tyler texted asking if he could stop by to grab some tools he'd lent Marcus. I knew what would happen when I said yes. I told I'd stop it. Set boundaries. Be in. I met him at the door in the sundress he'd complimented 2 weeks earlier. It became a pattern, a sickness. Every time Marcus mentioned Tyler coming over, my pulse would spike. I'd find excuses to be alone with him. I'd wait for Marcus to take his Sunday morning runs. Then text Tyler that the coast was clear. And the most twisted part, the part that makes me want to crawl out of my own skin. I got a thrill from it. From the sneaking. From the lying. From kissing Marcus goodbye and still tasting Tyler on my lips. It made me feel alive in a way I hadn't felt in years. Like I was the star of my own dangerous story, instead of just another wife with a mortgage and a grocery list. I convinced I was doing nothing wrong. That what Marcus didn't know wouldn't him. That I deserved to feel wanted, desired. Seen as something other than someone's comfortable partner. I even told I still loved Marcus. That this had nothing to do with him. That I could have both lives. The stable one and the exciting one. God, I was such an. The affair lasted 3 months, 14 encounters. I remember the number because I counted them later, staring at my phone while Marcus's mother screamed at me through his hospital room door. It ended the way these things always end. We got sloppy. Careless. On the idea we were untouchable. Marcus came home early from work one Thursday. Said he felt sick, had left at lunch. He was going to surprise me. Maybe we'd watch a movie, order takeout. Have one of those spontaneous, cozy afternoons that used to make us laugh. He walked into our bedroom and found me with his best friend in our bed. I can still hear the sound he made. It wasn't a yell. It wasn't even words. It was this guttural noise. Like something breaking inside him in real time. Like watching someone's soul evacuate their body. Tyler scrambled for his clothes. Started babbling excuses. "Man, I'm sorry," she came on to me. "This was a mistake." I just sat there, frozen, sheet pulled to my chest. Unable to form words. Unable to do anything but watch the man I'd promised to love forever look at me like I was a stranger. Marcus didn't hit anyone. Didn't throw things. Didn't scream. He just stood there, tears running down his face, and whispered, "How long?" I couldn't even give him the truth in that moment. My mouth said, 2 weeks. While my brain screamed that I was still lying, still protecting, still making it worse. He nodded slowly, picked his keys, and left. That was the last time he spoke to me directly. Within 3 hours, everyone knew. His mother, his sister, my parents, our friends. Tyler had immediately gone into damage control mode, telling everyone I'd seduced him, that he'd tried to stop it, that he was a victim of my manipulation. Some people believed him. Most didn't. But it didn't matter because I'd done this. I'd built then handed everyone the pieces to throw at me. Marcus moved in with his mother that night. Didn't answer my calls. Didn't respond to my texts. His sister showed the next morning to pack his things while I sobbed on the couch. And she looked at me with such pure contempt I felt it like a physical. He was going to propose again, she said while folding his shirts. He bought a new ring. A bigger one. He wanted to renew vows for 5th anniversary. He had it all planned. She zipped his suitcase and stood at the door. He loved more than anything in this world, and broke him for fun. That was 6 months ago. I've tried everything. Therapy, letters. Showing at his mother's house. Until the neighbors, to call the police. Mutual friends who eventually stopped responding to my messages. Because choosing sides wasn't even a choice. The divorce papers came last week. I signed them immediately. What else could I do? Marcus never gave me closure. Never let me explain. Never gave me the conversation, or the moment where I could fall on my knees and beg. He just erased me. Blocked my number. Removed me from every social media platform. Moved on with his like our 8 years together. Were a chapter he ripped out and burned. I live alone now in our old apartment. I can't afford to move. Every room holds a memory I can't escape. The kitchen where we had our first reel. The bathroom where he proposed. The bedroom where I destroyed everything. Tyler won't talk to me either. Guess I wasn't worth losing his friendship circle over once the secret was out. My own mother barely speaks to me. She loved Marcus like a son. At dinner last month, she looked at me across the table and said, "I don't understand how I raised someone capable of this." I don't have an answer for her. I don't have an answer for anyone. People keep asking if I regret it. Like that's even a question. Like regret is a big enough word for watching the light in someone's eyes because decided boredom mattered more than their heart. I wake every morning to silence. No forehead kiss. No coffee already made. No "good morning beautiful" text. Just me. Alone. With the knowledge that I had everything and traded it for nothing. The worst part about losing everything isn't the initial. It's the slow motion collapse that comes after. The way consequences keep rippling out, touching parts of didn't even know could break. I thought rock bottom was Marcus walking in on us. I was wrong. Rock bottom was 3 weeks later when I found out I was pregnant. I sat on the bathroom floor staring at those 2 pink lines, and for the first time since this nightmare started, I actually laughed. Hysterical, gut-wrenching laughter that turned into sobbing so hard the baby could be Marcus's. Or Tyler's. I'd been with both of them during the same week, the same 3-day window. I called Tyler first. I know. But Marcus wouldn't answer my calls and I was spiraling. I needed someone to tell me what to do. To tell me this was fixable somehow. Tyler picked on the 4th ring. His voice was cold. "Stop calling me, Rachel. I'm pregnant." I blurted out. "It might be yours." Silence. Then, "Get rid of it, and lose my number." He hung. I sat there holding my phone, staring at the ended call, and realized I'd been banking on some fantasy, where Tyler would suddenly become the hero of this story. Where he'd step, take responsibility, prove that what we had was real. But it was never real. I was just available. Convenient. A way to feel powerful by taking something from his best friend. I tried Marcus next. Called from my mom's phone because he'd blocked mine. He answered on the second ring, probably thinking it was an emergency with my family. "Marcus, please don't," I said quickly. "I need to tell something." "Rachel?" His voice cracked on my name. Even then, even after everything, hearing him sounded like hearing break. "Can't call me like this. I'm pregnant." The line went so quiet I thought he'd hung. Then I heard him breathing. Shaky. "Inovan, is it mine?" he finally asked. And here's where I could have lied. Should have lied. Told him yes, absolutely, without question. Maybe he would have come back. Maybe we could have tried to rebuild. Maybe the baby could have been our second chance. But I'd lied enough, and I owed him at least this one truth. "I don't know," I whispered. "It could be yours or Tyler's." He made that sound again. That breaking sound. The one that's going to haunt me until I don't contact me again, he said. "Whatever decide to do, leave me out of it. Made choice. Now live with it." He hung. Blocked my mom's number too. That was 2 weeks ago. I haven't decided what to do yet. Every time I think about keeping it, I imagine a child growing asking about their father, and having to explain that mommy doesn't know which man is because mommy was too selfish to keep her legs closed. Every time I think about the alternative, I feel like I'm compounding one terrible choice with another. My mom says she'll support whatever I decide but won't help me raise it. "I'm too old to clean messes," she said. "And I won't turn that child into a daily reminder of what did." She's right. How do explain to a kid that destroyed their potential family before they even existed? That their father is either a man who wants nothing to do with them, or a man who doesn't even know they're his. Work has become unbearable. I'm a teacher. 5th grade. And someone's parent found out about the affair and reported me to the school board, claiming I was morally unfit to teach children. The investigation cleared me. What I did in my personal isn't grounds for termination. But parents started requesting their kids be moved to different classrooms. Other teachers stopped eating lunch with me. The principal started scheduling wellness check-ins that were really just opportunities to suggest I consider transferring to a different school. Last week, one of my students asked why I looked sad all the time. I told her I was fine. She said, "My mom says you're a bad person who a good man. Is that true?" She's 10 years old. I reported it to the principal. He sighed and said he'd address it with the parent. But we both knew nothing would change. I'm the scarlet letter in human form, a walking cautionary tale parents use to teach their daughters about consequences. I used to have friends. Real ones. We'd meet for brunch every Sunday. Group chat that never stopped buzzing. Standing Friday night plans. Now my phone stays silent for days at a time. Most of them sided with Marcus immediately. Me off without even asking for my side. Not that my side matters. Not that there's a version of this story where I'm not the villain. But a few tried to stay neutral at first. Tried to maintain friendships with both of us. It lasted about 3 weeks, before they realized Marcus wouldn't out with anyone who still spoke to me. And when forced to choose between the guy who'd been nothing but kind to everyone and the woman who betrayed him in the cruelest way possible, well, that's not really a choice at all. My best friend since high school, Jessica, she tried the longest. She'd still text occasionally, send memes, ask how I was doing. Then she got engaged last month. I saw it on Instagram. Didn't get a call, didn't get a text. Just saw the post like everyone else, and I knew immediately I wouldn't be invited to the wedding. I texted her anyway. "Congratulations! I'm so happy for." She responded 6 hours later. "I need to be honest with, won't be invited to the wedding. Daniel is friends with Marcus, and it would be too uncomfortable. I hope understand. I typed and deleted about 15 responses. Finally just sent. I understand. I hope have a beautiful day. She never responded. I'm not invited to Jessica's wedding. I'm not invited to game nights. I'm not invited to birthday parties or baby showers or casual coffee meetups. I've been excommunicated from my own. And the worst part is I did this too. Social media is. I can't stop looking. Even though every post is a reminder of what I lost, Marcus seems happy. Or at least, he's moving on. I see him in the background of mutual friends' photos. Out at bars. Smiling at someone's birthday party. He grew a beard. Got a new haircut. Started going to the gym based on the progress pictures. His sister keeps posting with captions like, "So proud of my brother for choosing himself." Each post feels like a, not because I'm jealous. Because I can see him healing. And I'm glad for him, genuinely. But it also means I'm becoming a footnote. A bad chapter he's closing. Eventually, I'll just be a story he tells new girlfriends when they ask about his previous relationships. Yeah, I was married once, didn't work out. And I'll be here, stuck. Frozen in the worst moment of my, unable to move forward because forward means accepting that I'm this person now. The cheater. The homewrecker. The cautionary tale. My landlord increased my rent. I can barely afford this place on a teacher's salary, and with the pregnancy. I'm drowning in medical bills. I had to sell my car. Took the bus to my last doctor's appointment, and ran into one of Marcus's cousins in the waiting room. She looked at me, looked at my stomach, and her face twisted with disgust. "Does he know?" she asked. "He knows," I said quietly. "Good. Because don't get to trap him now." Made bed. She got and moved to a different section of the waiting room. Like I was contagious. I've started having panic. They come out of nowhere. I'll be teaching fractions, and suddenly I can't breathe. I'll be grocery shopping, and the walls start closing in. I'll be lying in bed at night, and my chest feels like someone's standing on it. My therapist says it's guilt manifesting physically. That my body is trying to process trauma I won't let feel emotionally. Need to forgive. She keeps saying, but how do forgive for being the villain? How do make peace with the fact that the person, other people, warn their partners about? How do move on when moving on feels like letting off the hook for something unforgivable? I can't eat. Can't sleep. Can't focus. The baby is growing and I'm shrinking. Disappearing into this shell of guilt and shame and regret. Last night I drove past Marcus's mom's house. I don't know why. Maybe hoping to catch a glimpse of him. Maybe hoping for some sign that this is all a nightmare I can still wake from. His truck was in the driveway. Living room light was on. I could see shadows moving inside. Laughter floating through the window. He's healing, living, moving forward. And I'm parked across the street at 11 p.m. like a ghost haunting my own past. 7 weeks pregnant with a baby that might not even be his, completely and utterly alone. I drove home and stared in the mirror for an hour. Trying to recognize the person looking back at me. Trying to understand how I became someone capable of this much destruction. The woman in the mirror looked hollow, exhausted. Broken in ways that don't heal. And I realized that this is mine now. This emptiness. This isolation. This endless loop of regret and consequences I can't escape. There's no happy ending coming. No redemption arc. No moment where everyone forgives me and we all move on together. I lost the baby at 12 weeks. Miscarriage. The doctor said it happens. Sometimes bodies just know. Sometimes pregnancies aren't viable. Sometimes there's no reason at all. I was alone when it happened. Middle of the night. Cramping that turned into something worse. I drove to the emergency room at 2 a.m., bleeding through my pajamas, and sat in the waiting room for 40 minutes before anyone called my name. The ER nurse asked if I wanted them to call someone. Partner, family member, friend. I said no. Because there was no one to call, no one who would come. No one who would sit with me while a doctor confirmed what I already knew. They did an ultrasound anyway. Standard procedure. The technician kept the screen turned away from me, but I could read her face. The way her mouth tightened. The way she pressed buttons without saying anything. "I'm sorry," she finally said. "There's no heartbeat." I nodded. Like I'd expected it. Like even my own body was rejecting the evidence of what I'd done. They gave me options. Wait for it to happen naturally. Take medication to speed it along. Surgery to remove everything. I chose the medication. Took it right there in the hospital. Went home and spent the next 6 hours on my bathroom floor, losing the last possible piece of Marcus that might have existed. I thought about texting him. Telling him it was over. That he didn't have to wonder anymore. But the question of paternity died with the pregnancy. But what would I even say? Hey, remember that baby that might have been yours? Don't worry about it anymore. It felt cruel, like I'd be using a miscarriage as an excuse to force my way back into his. So I didn't tell him. Didn't tell anyone. I went back to work 3 days later. Told the principal I'd had a medical procedure and needed to ease back into my schedule. He didn't ask questions. Probably grateful I wasn't asking for more time off. My students noticed something was wrong. Kids always do. They're more perceptive than adults give them credit for. During reading time, one of my girls, Sophia, came to my desk with a drawing. It was a stick figure woman with tears on her face and a broken heart on her chest. "I made this for," she said. "So no, it's okay to be sad." I held that drawing and cried in front of my entire class. Just completely fell apart at my desk while 10-year-olds stared at me. The principal called me into his office the next day. Said parents were complaining again. Said maybe I should consider taking a leave of absence. For mental health. He said. Like he cared about anything except liability. I resigned instead. Couldn't stand the thought of sitting in that building for another day. Watching parents whisper about me in the pickup line. Watching teachers avoid eye contact in the break room. Teaching kids about honesty and integrity, while being the living embodiment of neither. I gave 2 weeks' notice. They accepted it immediately. Didn't try to talk me out of it. Didn't thank me for my 5 years of service. Just processed my resignation and told me they'd mail my final paycheck. So now I'm unemployed, broke, and completely alone in an apartment I can't afford. I've been applying to jobs for 3 weeks. Have had exactly 2 interviews. Both ended the same way. The interviewer Googles my name, finds nothing official but plenty of small town gossip on Facebook. Small community, everyone knows everyone. And everyone knows what I did. We'll be in touch, they say with tight smiles. They never call back. My mom suggested I move back home temporarily. Just until get back on feet. I went to visit last weekend. Walked into my childhood home and immediately felt like an intruder. My old bedroom is now her craft room. The photos of me and Marcus at our wedding, the ones that used to sit on every surface, are gone. Replaced with pictures of my brother's family, his kids, his perfect, unbroken marriage. We sat at the kitchen table drinking coffee, and she asked how I was doing. Really doing. I started to cry. Told her about the miscarriage. About losing my job. About the interviews that go nowhere. About the panic and the insomnia and the crushing weight of knowing I did this all too. She listened quietly. Then she said, "Made choices, Rachel. Now facing consequences. I love but I can't fix this for, no one can." She wasn't cruel about it. That's what made it worse. She was just matter of fact. Stating reality. I'd burned my down. And she wasn't going to pretend the ashes were anything other than what they were. I didn't move back home. Last week, I ran into Marcus's mother at the grocery store. Literally turned the corner in the pasta aisle. And there she was, 3 feet away. Both of us frozen. She looked at me with such pure hatred that I actually stepped backward. Physically recoiled from the force of it. "Have some nerve showing face in public," she said. Her voice was low but sharp. "I'm just shopping," I whispered. "I'm not trying to cause problems. are the problem. Destroyed my son. Do you have any idea what he went through? The therapy. The nightmares. He lost 15 pounds because he couldn't eat for a month. He had to take leave from work because he couldn't function. Other shoppers were starting to stare. I wanted to disappear. To melt into the floor. I'm sorry, I said. Because what else was there to say? Sorry doesn't fix anything. Sorry doesn't give him back the years he on. Sorry doesn't undo the fact that his best friend betrayed him. That his wife betrayed him. That everyone he trusted most in the world proved they were garbage. She stepped closer. Close enough that I could see tears in her eyes. I hope you're miserable, she said. I hope never find happiness again. I hope every person meet sees for exactly what are. And I hope live along thinking about what a way. She walked past me. Left her cart right there in the aisle. Just walked out of the store. I abandoned my cart too. Went home and didn't leave my apartment for 3 days. The isolation is suffocating now. I go days without speaking to another human being. My phone stays silent, no texts, no calls, no emails that aren't bills or rejection letters from jobs. I've started talking to. Having full conversations. Arguing with about what I should have done differently. Replaying that night over and over. Imagining different choices. Imagining a version of that said no. That woke Marcus. That chose integrity over impulse. But that version of me doesn't exist. She never did. I was always this person. The affair just revealed it. I've lost 30 pounds. My clothes off me. My hair is falling out in clumps from stress. I look like a ghost. Feel like one too. Haunting the ruins of my own. Yesterday, I saw on Facebook that Marcus is dating someone. Her name is Claire. She's a nurse. Volunteers at an animal shelter. Has kind eyes and a genuine smile in every photo. She looks nothing like me. Which makes sense. Why would he want anything that reminded him of what I did? The photos show them hiking. Having dinner with his family. Her laughing at something he said. Him looking at her the way he used to look at me. Before I taught him that love is just another word for eventual betrayal. I'm happy for him. I swear I am. He deserves kindness. Deserves someone who treats his heart like the precious thing it is. But seeing it also confirms what I already knew. I'm not a person anymore. I'm a lesson, a cautionary tale. The before, in someone's, after I left my ex, story. I've started driving past our old spots sometimes. The coffee shop where we had our first date. The park where he proposed. The restaurant where we celebrated every anniversary. I don't know what I'm looking for. Ghosts of who we used to be, maybe? Proof that we existed. That what we had was real before I destroyed it. Last night, I parked outside that restaurant. Watched through the window as couples ate dinner. Held hands across tables. Laughed. Kissed. Built memories that might last or might not. And I realized, I don't even remember what it feels like to be loved like that. It's only been 6 months, but that version of me feels like something I read in a book. Like it happened to someone else. I'm 31 years old. No job. No partner. No friends. No family that wants anything to do with me. No prospects. No future I can imagine that doesn't look exactly like this. Empty rooms and empty hours and the crushing weight of knowing I chose this. I've thought about ending it. Not in any active way. Just thought about how much easier it would be to not exist. To not have to carry this shame. To not have to watch Marcus build a beautiful with someone who deserves him, while I rot in the wreckage of my own making. But even that feels selfish. Even that feels like taking the easy way out, instead of sitting with the consequences I earned. So I wake every morning. Forced to get out of bed. Forced to eat something. Forced to send out more job applications that will go nowhere. Forced to exist in this purgatory I built with my own hands. People say time heals all wounds. That eventually this will less. That I'll move on and rebuild and find some version of happiness again. But they're wrong. Some things don't heal. Some choices don't get do-overs. Some consequences are permanent. I destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me because I was bored. Because I wanted excitement. Because I thought I deserved more than steady, faithful, predictable love. Now I have nothing. And nothing is all I'll ever have. Marcus moved on. Tyler moved on. My friends moved on. My family moved on. The world kept spinning. And I'm still here. Frozen. Trapped in the moment I await everything. Unable to move backward or forward. Just existing in this gray space between who I was and who I'll never be again. This is my now. This emptiness. This silence. This isolation. This is what I traded a lifetime of love for. I see posts sometimes from people who made the same mistakes I did. They're asking how to fix it. How to win their partner back. How to make amends. And I want to tell them the truth can't. Can't unbreak a heart. Can't unbetrayal trust. Can't unfeel the pain caused. Can beg and plead and promise to change, but some things, once broken, stay broken. The worst part isn't even the loneliness. It's knowing I have no one to blame but no villain in this story. Except the face I see in the mirror. No one to be angry at except the woman who had everything and chose nothing. If we're reading this and thinking about cheating, about that flirtation that seems harmless, about that moment of excitement that might be worth the risk, let me tell what's waiting on the other side: nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just and choices and a lifetime of watching everyone loved learn to be happy without. I didn't just lose my husband. I lost. And there's no coming back from that.